Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fitz's Guinea Vision. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful night. So in today's video, we are going to talk about the pros and cons to the Midwest cage versus the CNC cage. Let's talk about the Midwest cage. I'm going to give you a list of pros, and then we'll talk about the cons. So the first pro is that it's a decent sized cage. It is 8 square feet. It's expandable by putting two Midwest cages together. It is easily collapsible for storage. It's fairly easy to put together. It's fairly easy to clean. And the canvas vinyl bottom is waterproof. Now, some Midwest cages come with a divider, which is nice to use if you need to separate guinea pigs who are still being introduced to each other, or if they don't get along, or if you just want to have a separate living space and a separate toileting area or kitchen area. I say toileting because they tend to eat, or they tend to blah, 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 blah. They tend to poop and pee where they eat. That's what I was trying to get at. Anyways, so for that reason, that would make it a double pro. Now, fleece lining works really well as a bedding, even without anything underneath. However, my personal experience, and I do recommend that you do put an absorbent layer underneath the fleece. It has ramps on the outside so that you can open and use to allow guinea pigs to come out of their cage and into their playpen area if you have a playpen connected to the cage. If it's possible with your chosen playpen. I personally have not done that myself, but it is a convenient factor. So now let's talk about the negative side to this type of cage. One single Midwest cage is too small for anything more than 2 guinea pigs. It is fairly expensive to expand, and it's less flexible than CNC cages. It doesn't always seem to stay together, so sometimes it will require you to use zip ties to hold the cage together properly, and thus making the collapsible aspect somewhat irrelevant. It comes together in several parts and becomes slightly frustrating to have to reassemble every few days. Everybody has a different experience, so that is my experience. It can get messy quickly if you're using just a single 8 square foot Midwest cage. A scrub brush might become essential to remove mashed up poop, and it may even stain, according to some people. If not expanded, there's just not enough room to use the divider and still maximize cage space due to the ramps on each side of the divider. And depending on if you have your cage bars on the inside of the canvas bottom, or if you have them velcroed to the outside of the bottom, it can become a real pain to keep guinea pigs from pulling up the fleece and burrowing underneath and getting other unwanted things like poop underneath the fleece. So if you're going to use fleece, put the cage bars on the inside of the canvas to hold the edges down of the fleece. That's only a recommendation. Ramps are only single-sided and have nothing on the bars to keep the guinea pig feet from falling between them and potentially harming the guinea pigs. This is flexible if you remove one side of the ramp from the divider along with the canvas and use them in conjunction with the side ramps. I personally have not done that. So now let's talk about the CNC cage. With a CNC cage, if you don't already know what that is, it's cubes and coroplast. The cubes come with grids like this that you form into cubes or whatever shape you want to use it for. It is a multifunctional item. So using the grids to create a cage for your guinea pigs, it provides more room to play, which means your guinea pigs will be happier and there will be noticeably less behavioral nipping or biting and overall health issues. You can easily customize and rearrange. It is cleaner, and I find there's less odors using the CNC cage. It is a lower ongoing cost, and it is also easier to pick up and put back your guinea pigs. I find the coroplast also gives your guinea pigs a higher sense of stability because it is a firm surface rather than the canvas bottom that is very flimsy. CNC cages are very easy to expand, make smaller, or create separations for feisty guinea pigs that don't get along. If you add more guinea pigs to your family, you won't have to buy a new cage. You might only have to buy some extra grids with another piece of coroplast, and you could just attach on and add on. It is easier to clean, and it requires slightly less frequent cage cleanings, especially if you have a bigger sized cage. Now, what I have another pro to add to this list that isn't on my notes, and that is that you can create travel size cages with the CNC, so that if you do have to travel with your guinea pigs, if you only have 2, maybe 3 guinea pigs, you can make a miniature cage with your CNC grids. You can get smaller sized coroplast. You can even create a lid for safety. You can also do that for traveling to the vet, or just traveling if you're going away for a weekend or to a friend's house and you don't have anyone to watch them. It's a very multi-purposeful type of cage. Now let's talk about some of the negative things. There's not many, but there are some. There are some, yes. So it does take up more space in your conventional cage. This also means a larger space for your guinea pigs to play, which for your guinea pigs is a pro. It is a slightly higher upfront cost. Now, your coroplast you can get in 2 different forms. You can get it at the local Home Depot or hardware store, where you would score the coroplast yourself to whatever height and shape you want, so you can have like a higher back end to protect your walls and then a shorter front end. Or the higher end cost, you can go through guineacages.com or Cappy Cages, and you can order the coroplast pre-scored. That's a convenient factor, but more expensive, so that's why it's a negative con, or a negative thing. So on my list, I do have written down that you can't take your cage with you if you travel, but I've already gone into explaining how you could, so it really is not that much of a negative thing, I guess. Now, the supplies to make the cages can be difficult to find if you live in a more rural area. And that is all I can think of for negative things about the CNC cage, really. If you can think of something that isn't on the list, whether it's a pro or con for either type cage, feel free to comment down below and let me know. I would love to hear your opinions and thoughts about it. But this is my personal experience. I prefer the CNC cage because it is more sturdy, and you can use the grids to build a stand, so you don't have to have a table for it. You can build a stand, and underneath the stand you can have your space for storage, for storing your fleece items or your guinea pig toys or whatever it might be, and then you can have your cage on the top. or you can build a stand so that you have a cage and then you have big space in between, and then you can build another cage on top. If you want to know what I mean by that, it's sort of what the Pig-room did, Austin from the Pig-room. He's got double-tiered cages. And I believe Autumn Grace from, well, Autumn Grace on YouTube, she did that recently as well. And I believe her cage looks absolutely amazing. It's gorgeous. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the CNC cage and the Midwest cage. I don't like the Midwest cage because I find it very flimsy, and you have to either have it on the floor or on a table. You can't build a stand for it because there's no stability to protect the canvas from going through the grids, which can in the end sort of harm your guinea pigs. So I hope you found this video informative, and if you want to see more videos like this, comment down below, click the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Or night.